Let's have a look at, say, some of the nightlife here, and you can notice
That's in Japan.
That's Japan. A distinctly American-looking scene here.
It looks like Philadelphia or something.
I know, there's even people
oh my God,
twerking.
They're twerking on this. Oh no.
Look at what has happened. Here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Yopi from Yopis English School. 皆さんこんにちは、Yopi でございます。本日は Say Goodbye to Japan 日本よさようならと題された日本の移民問題について取り上げたイギリスのポッドキャスト番組を見ながらネイティブが使うリアルな英語を学んでいきます。ちなみにこの番組では移民政策に強く反対する保守派の主張が強く見られます。根拠のない発言やデータをツイストして伝えている部分もないとは言えないので、あくまで彼らの個人的な主張であるということを念頭に置きながら、海外ではこういう見られ方をすることもあるんだという理解に留めておくのをお勧めします。またクリップを見た後はクリップ内に登場したネイティブがよく使うけどあまり日本では習わない英会話フレーズを解説していきます。ぜひ最後までご覧ください。By the way, I've got the link for the original clip down in the description, so please check that out. Let's dive in.
Japan, known for being culturally homogenous. That's what most people know Japan as.
I mean, there always has been a little bit of immigration to Japan. I mean, normally it's temporary. I mean, I know people who've gone out there and lived and taught for, 10 years or so. Mm. And apparently it's a bloody wonderful place. I mean, you can just leave your bicycle unlocked outside a major train station and come back days later and it will still be there.
They're even trying to get foreign workers in the countryside. This is the New York Times covering this, which should bring alarm bells that they're doing the same thing that's happening in, say, the UK, US, all the other European countries, where they're sort of just circulating third worldists throughout the entirety.
Third worldist, is it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, well,
who else would it be?
Because, I mean, I was kind of hoping it was going to be people from other high... Because Japan is clearly a prime example of a high-trust society. So if you bring in other people from another high-trust society, if you want to bring in Danes and Swedes or something... Mm-hmm. I can see that working.
British people, perhaps?
Yeah, but if they go down the Infinity African routes, they're going to get a different outcome.
And in fact, they're also getting Chinese as well. For many leaving China, it's Japan, not the US, that's the bigger draw. So obviously, you don't need to be a student of history to know that the Chinese and the Japanese tend not to get along very well.
Well, the Chinese have very bad manners. And you should see them
They're very messy. What?
And you should see them eat as well. A lot of them don't even close their mouth when they eat. Not the Hong Kongers. I like the Hong Kongers. They're great. Mm-hmm. But mainland Chinese, it's not wildly out of control yet. I mean, it's
not.
I mean, we get their total allowance of foreigners in 2 years. And that's their total. So far, it's not so bad.
So let's see what this has brought them, shall we? 2 African migrants were arrested at a hotel in Tokyo for stealing 34 million yen in cash, despite only being 0.02% of the population. This is the 3rd time a black person has made national news for crime in Japan this year, because these sorts of things do not usually happen.
The Asians, when it comes to crime, it's all sort of gambling related. And drink related.
It's like financial and...
Yeah.
They're not really the kind of crimes that people take exception to as much. Let's have a look at, say, some of the nightlife here. And you can notice
That's in Japan.
That's Japan. A distinctly American-looking scene here.
It looks like Philadelphia or something.
I know, there's even people
oh my God,
twerking.
They're twerking on this. Oh no.
Look at what has happened. Here we go. Loud black women have found Japan.
Oh no.
Look what you have done, world, to the poor Japanese. Apparently Africans are 2.57 times overrepresented, and the next best overrepresented are the Chinese and Vietnamese. And then it's South America, North America, Europe, and then finally Oceania at the end.
In the US, they are 11 times overrepresented.
Mm-hmm. There's also... Kurds as well. Here they are just fighting in the street, surrounded also by other minorities as well. They're just having a wrestle, and there's a big crowd of people watching it. They're all, non-Japanese, and this is just going on a nice orderly Japanese street. But there is more. Here they are, parading through the streets. not really respecting Japanese culture. They're not really integrating, are they?
They're not seamlessly fitting into their environment. They're kind of belligerently
taking over,
yeah.
Almost like they have it everywhere else. They're not willing to integrate because they're culturally dogmatic. They want to impose their culture on other people. This guy, Pakistani, yes, there are Pakistanis in Japan now, 25,000 of them in Japan now. He was convicted of sexually assaulting a Japanese schoolgirl on a train.
Yes.
Because, of course, the Pakistanis have earned their worldwide reputation for being some of the most prolific, how do I put it, scumbags.
Enjoyers of young girls.
Here's another one as well. Chinese man stabs a Japanese woman to death at night in Shibuya. This sort of thing hardly ever happens in Japan. They don't need to put up with this. If you have your culturally homogenous country, everything works. If you invite in foreigners, they do stuff like this. They take liberties, they steal, they assault you. Japan is a high-trust society. They don't lock up their bikes. And now they've had to create promotional material to encourage people to lock up their bikes because it's not enculturated in Japan to do this. And I mean, I never used to lock up my bike where I grew up either. It used to seem ridiculous that someone in my neighbourhood would steal it. Now they're having to do this because their nice functional society is becoming dysfunctional.
Well, I mean, Connor told us his story of how he went to Japan and he left his phone in a cafe in a train station, and then went off for the day, realised he'd left his phone but it was on the train by then, so he just assumed that it was a write-off, got back to the train station he originally departed from, and it was still there in the cafe. In a major train station, just been left there all day and nobody touched it.
That's just what you do. You be a good person.
Yes.
It's not hard. That's how things work and how, things are better for everyone that way.
はい、いかがだったでしょうか。政治的な公平性を期すために付け加えるとすると、例えば日本国内の犯罪率で言えば、年齢分布を揃えると外国人の方が低いというデータもあります。つまり日本にいる外国人は若年層が中心のため、日本人において犯罪率の低い老人や子供などを除外して比較するとそういった結果になるんですね。強制送還のリスクがあることが犯罪率の低さを助けているとも言われます。皆様はどう感じたでしょうか。では続いてクリップ内に登場したネイティブがよく使うけどあまり日本では習わない英会話フレーズを解説していきます。一つ目はこちら。
They don't need to put up with this. They don't need to put up with this.
Put up with. Put up with. 我慢する。耐える。我慢すると言いたいとき、スラッと英語で言える人ってあまりいないんじゃないでしょうか。ネイティブがよく使うのがこの put up with というフレーズです。他にも endure や be patient なんかがありますが、比較的長い期間耐え忍ぶみたいな意味に捉えられることもあります。日本語の我慢すると同じような感覚で使える put up with おすすめなんです。例文を2つ紹介します。I can't put up with this heat anymore. この暑さにはもう耐えられない。日本の夏に使えそうです。can't put up with で我慢することができないですね。もう一つ I had to put up with the noise from the construction next door 隣の部屋の工事の騒音を我慢しなければならなかった。このように肯定文でも使うことができます。では二つ目のフレーズです。
They're not really the kind of crimes that people take exception to as much. They're not really the kind of crimes that people take exception to as much.
Take exception to Take exception to何々に腹を立てる、気分を害する、何々に反対する。Exception は例外という意味で広く知られていますが、反対や異議という意味もあるんです。転じて take exception to 何々で何々に腹を立てるや反対するという意味になったんです。例文を紹介します。The customer took exception to the poor service and complained to the manager. その顧客は悪いサービスに腹を立ててマネージャーにクレームをつけた。腹を立てるという意味で使われている例文です。The poor service で出来の悪いサービスといった感じでしょうか。もう一つは Many people took exception to the new policy. 多くの人が新しい政策に異議を唱えた。こちらは反対する、異議を唱えるという意味で使われています。どちらの意味で使われているかは文脈による判断になります。どっちにせよ物事に対して否定的な意見を持っているというイメージで捉えるとすんなりと理解できると思います。本日は Say Goodbye to Japan 日本よさようならというクリップを見ながらネイティブが使うリアルな英語を学びました。 クリップ内の英語についてわからないところがあれば、時間の許す限り回答させていただきます。ぜひコメント欄で共有してください。Alright, so this is it for today. See you next time.